Hello everyone, my name is Taylor Jasmine and this is my interview skills video. For the questions, I will be answering the basic interview questions, sets 1 and 7, the behavioral interview questions for teamwork, and the case interview for the business case. Question 1, tell me more about yourself. My name is Taylor Jasmine. I am a production planner currently studying supply chain management at Macomb Community College. I'm AS91 certified and experienced in scheduling, part tracking, and coordinating cross-functional teams in the aerospace environments. I'm now looking to bring my planning and coordination experience into a fast-paced aerospace setting where I can grow technically and contribute to mission-critical operations. Question 2, why are you the best person for this job? So in my experience, my previous role as a production planner for a precise parts manufacturer, we were frequently facing late orders due to poor forecasting. I was responsible for improving our schedule accuracy while reducing lead times. I worked with engineering, procurement, and operations to develop a more responsive MRP system. I also implemented a rolling forecast tied to actual demand and adjusting planning buffers accordingly. On-time delivery improved by 23% within 2 months, and our team received recognition award for improved throughput. Number 3, explain how your academic training has prepared you for this role. My academic background in supply chain management and manufacturing systems has given me the analytical and operational knowledge needed in aerospace planning. At Macomb Community College, I focused on courses like business communication, supply chain management, and so forth. I completed a capstone project analyzing bottlenecks in the simulated aerospace line and proposed an optimized layout using line balance tools. That was for my AS9100 certification. That experience combined with my real world planning work has made me confident in my ability to manage complex builds and tight aerospace deliveries schedules. Question 4, are you creative? Yes. And creative in planning often comes down to how responsive you are to constraints. For example, we once had a major machine outage that threatened to delay a key order for a defense contract. I proposed splitting the job across 2 machines and adjusted shift timing to fit the workflow. I also reprioritized a few secondary orders with stakeholder buy-in. As a result, we delivered on time with 0 quality issues, and our client praised us for our flexibility. Creativity in aerospace planning is all about finding smart, low-risk solutions under pressure. 5, discuss your work experience. I've worked as a production planner in a high-mix, low-volume environment where precision and timing are critical, much like the whole aerospace industry. I was responsible for releasing jobs, monitoring WIP, coordinating with buyers on long lead parts, and responding to unplanned changes in real time. I collaborated daily with engineering and operations to troubleshoot material shortages, capacity issues, and special builds. I'm familiar with MRP, ERP systems like SAP and Oracle, and the kind of fast-paced, detail-oriented scheduling needed to support aircraft and defense production timelines. Set 7, question 1, why is your GPA so low? This is a hypothetical GPA. My GPA is 2.8 because I've been balancing full-time school with full-time work as a production planner. It's been challenging at times, but I've learned how to manage competing priorities, stay organized, and meet tight deadlines. Skills that translate directly into the world of aerospace planning. I believe my work experience along with my AS9100 certification better reflects my capabilities than my GPA alone. Question 2, tell me about your schooling. Currently, I'm enrolled at Macomb Community College, working towards my degree in supply chain management. The program has given me a strong foundation in areas like logistics, MRP, procurement, and quality systems, all of which directly support my day-to-day role as a production planner. I've also earned my certification in AS9100 systems, which has helped me better understand aerospace compliance, traceability, and how to maintain quality planning standards in a high regulated industry. Question 3, how does your experience or education relate to this job? With my experience as a production planner, I've, I've already been given the tools I'll need to succeed in aerospace. I've managed production schedules, tracked parts, coordinated with buyers, and ensured alignment between planning and operations. At the same time, my education at Macomb Community College has reinforced these skills with a deeper understanding of supply chain principles and forecasting techniques. Question 4, do you have any questions for me? Yes, thank you. I'd love to know more about how your planning team works with your engineering department and your procuring department, especially when it comes to design changes and how they impact the build plan. I'm also curious, how does your team measure success when it comes to production planning and on-time delivery? For question 1, tell me of a time when you worked with a colleague who was not cooperating with their share of work. Who, if anyone, did you tell or talk to it about it? Did the manager take any steps to correct your colleague? Did you agree or disagree with the manager's actions? So as a buyer, I worked with someone previously who wasn't updating part statuses on time, causing a bunch of different scheduling issues. As a planner, I needed the timely updates to release new work orders and jobs accurately. I spoke with the employee directly and proposed a weekly 10-minute sync every morning. As a result, communication improved and our team reduced late starts by 25-30%. I also earned the trust with that employee by handling it respectfully. Question 2, describe a situation in which you had arrived at a compromise to help others to compromise. What was your role? What steps did you take, and what was the result? So one time in particular, our engineering team wanted to implement a design change mid-build, but the operation team was totally against it. I needed to find a compromise to avoid delays and extra material costs. I propose implementing the change after one of our production milestones on the build schedule. Everyone ended up agreeing. The build stayed on track and reduced confusion and rework, and also brought our inventory and excess material costs way down. Question 3, tell me of a time when you had to work on a team that did not get along. What happened? What role did you take? What was the result? So I'm a part of planning, and we get put into daily manufacturing meetings on a regular basis. Our quality and production teams in this situation were arguing over responsibility for a delay. I had to keep the meeting focused and keep the team productive. I shifted the discussion to share goals and scheduled smaller follow-ups. The team got back on track and completed the order on time. Question 4, tell me about a time if it hadn't been for teamwork, your goal might have not been achieved. We had a major backlog on orders for a key aerospace customer. It required coordination between planning, procurement, quality to resolve quickly. I led daily glass wall meetings, which are just a touch point meeting, with all the department managers to align priorities and to remove blockers. The backlog was cleared within about 2 weeks, and leadership adopted that model for the future escalations. We use the glass wall meetings across every business unit now because of that. Question 5, describe a situation where others you were working with on a project disagreed with your ideas. What did you do? So I recommended our assembly team start early kitting, building all the assembly parts before the main component would come in to reduce line delays. But I had one supervisor that pushed pretty hard back. I had to show the value of my idea without creating a conflict. So what I did was I I ran a controlled pilot on one work order to test the improvement. It worked very, very well. The process was adopted for all kits, and I gained trust from that team, especially that team leader. Question 6, describe a situation in which you found that your results were not up to your professor's or supervisor's expectation. What happened? What action did you take? So one time I missed a lead time estimate on a long lead item, which impacted a build schedule. I had to fix the issue and prevent it from happening again. I quickly escalated the issue to our procurement manager and sourced a backup supplier, revised our planning buffers. With an expedite fee, the part arrived just in time, and I made sure it never happened again by adjusting our ERP's internal lead times. For question 1, your company must build a new paper plant. What factors would you consider in selecting a country? I'd look at that country's infrastructure, the labor costs, the skill level, how close they are to raw materials, government incentives, government law, policy, political stability, and shipping logistics. Question 2, a big healthcare company wants to grow and improve profitability within 3 years. What is your advice? I would cut costs, expand markets, optimize the supply chain, and invest in higher margin services or products. An internet company had 3 strong quarters, but now reports a 50% profit drop. What happened? I would explore all of our financial records. I'd explore if there was any increased operational costs, system failures, or if there are any external ones like competition or regulatory issues. Then I would check the market, see where the market's at, or if there were any supply chain disruptions. I think the biggest thing here would just be identifying the root cause and go from there. Question 4, you manufacture toys costing $1,000. Estimate how many you would sell in Hong Kong. First, I would do a market analysis within Hong Kong. I would analyze the average income, the pricing on similar competition, the market size, and then I would most likely start with a pilot demand and analyze the data from there. Question 5, you are visiting a firm in Indonesia with only last year's financials. How do you assess its health in 1 hour? I would check the revenue, margin, debt, any type of cash flow reports, any type of financial reports they have. Then I'd also look for any red flags like unexpected or unusual expenses or some falling inventory turns, something along that nature that's pretty unlike normal manufacturing business. Question 6, how do you advise a bank on whether to implement an ATM system? First, I'd look at their customer needs, any type of customer satisfaction reports or any type of customer surveys or whatnot. And then I would track their transaction volumes. I'd look at the cost, come up with a location strategy, then most likely start a pilot program in a high traffic location to see if that works before scaling up the demand and putting the ATMs everywhere. Discuss the economics of a gym. I would say revenue is driven by memberships and services. Their costs come from the space, staff, gear, and keeping people coming back is probably the #1 key. Question 8, you're consulting for a bank. What productivity metrics would you analyze in operations? I would look at any type of KPIs to identify a root cause, #1. Maybe things like wait time, error rates, transactions per representative, and maybe system uptime. I think really when you're doing any type of consulting would be looking at whatever key performance indicators that they would already have in place to determine that root cause. Question 9, a company is selling a commodity. A company selling a commodity is thinking of expanding internationally. what issues could influence this decision? Well, first thing most likely would be tariffs, logistics, the profit margins, any type of international or government law, and the labor and that country's demand. So that is it for my presentation. Thank you so much, everyone.